possible major spoiler for the United States Elimination Chamber match at the titular event later on this month. Who is going to be heading to WrestleMania as the United States Champion in WWE? How much do the likes of Vince McMahon, Triple H and others stand to make from a possible sale of the company? We've got details on that. Seth Rollins continues to shoot on AEW CM Punk, explaining his recent comments that were very harsh towards the former AEW World Champion. An update on Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes' segment from this week's edition of Monday Night Raw, and the plans being completely different from what aired on television. We've got an update on SmackDown heading to the UK prior to Money in the Bank later on this year. An update on the future of John Bradshaw Layfield on WWE television. Reportedly, a WWE star wanted to be a part of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's Battle of Los Angeles event recently, which AEW stars did appear on. A positive update on Jerry the King Lawler amid his health concerns, and Gunther reaches an impressive milestone as the Intercontinental Champion. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's start off talking about Elimination Chamber. Of course, the premium live event is on the horizon. One of the biggest matches on the show, not the biggest, but one of the biggest ones, is the United States Championship Elimination Chamber match. And a huge spoiler has potentially been revealed for an upcoming title match at the Elimination Chamber show on February 18. Now, on the show from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, the WWE United States Championship will indeed be on the line. The current champion Austin Theory will enter the chamber with Seth freaking Rollins, Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest and Montez Ford, with all vying to leave as United States Champion. Spoilers possibly ahead, so I'll give you 5 seconds or so to click off the video or go to a later point. We hope you still continue watching this show. But writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer has revealed 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, saying, quote, Theory taped a television show that airs in March holding the United States Championship bout. That doesn't mean 100% he's retaining it here, but it is something. Austin Theory was among a number of WWE stars who recently spoke about the creative process and how that has changed under Triple H. It was also previously reported by Dave Meltzer and others in the Wrestling Observer newsletter and other websites and other outlets that Austin Theory's match for WrestleMania 39 on April 1st and 2nd had been locked in, with his planned opponent being none other than WWE icon, former 16-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion John Cena. And we don't know at the time of this recording if indeed Theory will retain his US Championship, as the appearance would suggest. We also don't know if Theory is indeed facing John Cena at WrestleMania. That's yet to be confirmed. We don't know if that match, if it does go ahead, is going to be for the United States Championship. But all signs do point to Austin Theory retaining the United States Championship, in addition to Austin Theory facing John Cena at WrestleMania. If that is going to be the case, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember, you can also join the WN365 roster by clicking that join button. You get exclusive access to emojis, you get badges, you get members priority chat. You also, this is the most exciting thing, get access to members exclusive videos and live streams, which is going to include classic match watch-alongs. It's also going to include interviews, debate shows. You've asked for that extra bit of content outside of the news, and you can get that by joining the WN365 roster. So if you haven't already, click that join button. Let's talk a bit about the sale of WWE. Now, as a Manchester United fan, I'm talking a lot about takeovers and sales recently, and of course it spills over into the pro wrestling world as well. And a report has revealed how much key executives in WWE could potentially make if the company were to be sold for $8 billion. That's a lot of money, $8 billion. In the new issue of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer notes, quote, at press time, with a stock price of $88.50 per share, the company's Wall Street market value is $6.588 billion, with a B. Meltzer goes on to estimate the following, quotes, if the WWE was sold for $8 billion, this is roughly what key people in the company would make from the sale. Vince McMahon would make... This is an outrageous amount of money. $2,552,969,558. Stephanie McMahon would go on to make $170 million, $842,415. Linda McMahon would go on to make $50 million, $320,030. Kevin Dunn would go on to make $24 million, $205,400. $310,000. Nick Khan would go on to make $13,833,200. Frank Riddick would go to make $10,931,948. Paul Levesque, that being Triple H, would stand to make $8,322,822. Now, AEW President Tony Khan recently provided an update on his interest in the sale of WWE, saying that he was both interested in it and potentially being involved in it. Whether or not Tony Khan and the Khan family plus a consortium could purchase WWE is seen as unlikely, however, given the strong competition between the two companies. It is speculated that Comcast could make a bid. However, it was previously reported that Comcast, NBC Universal, had been ruled out. Other potential buyers have included the likes of Endeavor, who own the UFC. In addition to that, it was also being speculated that the Saudi Public Investment Fund could also be interested. There had also been previous reports that the future involvement of Vince McMahon in a post-sale WWE is currently being seen as a, quote, sticking point for potential purchasers. WWE CEO Nick Khan did, however, state that Vince McMahon was, quote, open to transactions where he's not included in the company moving forward, end quote. As I mentioned, it was reported that Comcast, NBC Universal, had ruled themselves out of being a buyer. However, according to Nick Khan, WWE were bullish on Comcast being involved. It was also said by Khan that expect the WWE sale, if indeed it does happen, to happen quickly within the next 2 to 3 months, as they want to get the sale completed before entering into possible media rights negotiations, if indeed they need to, depending on who their new owner would be. Seth Rollins and CM Punk, two names that have been widely associated in recent weeks, due largely to Seth freaking Rollins' comments about the former AEW World Champion. Seth Rollins has expanded on his recent cancer comments regarding CM Punk that made headlines in an appearance ahead of the Super Bowl. Making appearances ahead of the Super Bowl, Seth Rollins has been making some media rounds, including stopping by Fox Sports Radio. When asked about his recent comments on CM Punk, in which Rollins noted Punk was a cancer, Rollins replied, quote, "Oh, well, I don't need to repeat what I said about Chicago Phil in an interview last week, but I'm sure if you need to, you can Google it. Look, the bottom line is, it's the same thing as with Logan Paul. Punk and Logan Paul are two different personalities, but they're both as selfish as it comes if you're not going to help. And then I don't want you to be a part of our industry. I don't want you to be a part of our company, and that's all there is to that." And here's the thing that I will say, one thing about Punk, and end it on a positive note with him. That guy has given my career so much that it pains me to have to say bad things about him, because he helped me out. He really did. He's been a good guy to me for a lot of my career, but for whatever reason, the past maybe 6-7 years, he's in a different headspace and we're not on the same page. And to see kind of what he's done and taken, it's always about him. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. Not a fan. There's a place for him, man. He's got a lot to give. I just wish his head was in a different spot. So Rollins saying that not necessarily that CM Punk hasn't done a lot for him, he has, and that for a long time he did like him, but it's more Punk's recent behavior in which Rollins isn't a fan of. What recent behavior he's referring to, I'll leave that up to you to decide and speculate on, but certainly Rollins is not backing down from his recent comments about the former AEW World Champion. One of the highlights of this week on WWE television certainly was the promo segment between Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes on Monday Night Raw. Now, the Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman WWE Raw segment could have been very different had the original plans gone through. The segment, which featured Heyman revealing a conversation with Cody's father, the late American Dream Dusty Rhodes, was produced by Michael Hayes and was said to be a response to the need to, quote, "This WrestleMania main event angle feels secondary in the light of the popularity of Sami Zayn." Dave Meltzer addressed the changes to the segment in the new issue of Wrestling Observer newsletter, writing, quote, "Heyman was originally not booked to appear on the show. He was always going to be in Orlando because Brock Lesnar was booked on the show. And Heyman is a key part of all creative when it comes to Roman Reigns, Lesnar, and Ronda Rousey. That changed during last week. The concept of what was planned late last week and what ended up happening was completely different. The final product was largely put together by Heyman and Rhodes in the direction both wanted to take it. The very much behind the scenes key was to make this into the ultimate top match of the year, since that is what the world title match is at WrestleMania 39. Of course, the American Nightmare is set to face the Tribal Chief for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania 39 on April 1st or April 2nd. Most likely April 2nd on the show. And certainly lots of people critically acclaiming the segment on Raw, saying that it did just exactly what it needed to do, and that set up a big WrestleMania-worthy feeling type of match, type of main event at WrestleMania, and already plant the seeds for the direction that they're going to go in once the Sami Zayn Roman Reigns match at Elimination Chamber has concluded. Now, let's look forward to the summer. Let's forward to Money in the Bank and the UK getting not one but two shows this summer. Big show, certainly. WWE has announced that Friday Night SmackDown will be heading to the O2 Arena in London on the night before Money in the Bank. The show will take place in London on Friday, 30th of June 2023, the night before Money in the Bank, as announced on the official WWE Twitter account. Per the press release from WWE, quote, due to the incredibly early response for Money in the Bank ticket pre-registrations at the O2 in London on Saturday, July 1st, WWE today announced that SmackDown will also emanate from the O2 the night before Friday, June 30. This marks the first time ever that SmackDown will be broadcast live and in prime time from the UK at 8 p.m. local time on BT Sport. Following the success of Clash at the Castle, this marks WWE's return to the United Kingdom for a premium live event and the first time that a main calendar WWE event has been held in the United Kingdom since SummerSlam 1992. WWE had run UK exclusive pay-per-views in the UK previously, including Rebellion, Insurrection, and others. Also the first time that I mentioned that SmackDown will be broadcast live from the UK. Usually it's taped and aired in its usual time slots in the United States, but they're going all in due to the success of Clash at the Castle, due to already it's going to be a massively successful event, Money in the Bank, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens on the SmackDown prior, how they do it. It's, for a person over here in the UK, it's an absolute godsend, and I'm really, really excited to see what they do, and here's hoping we see more of this. We're already starting to see more of it with Money in the Bank and Clash at the Castle, but now with the TV shows airing live, that's a big deal too, and hopefully we see more of that in the future. Speaking of the future, it looks pretty bleak for John Bradshaw Layfield, if you're a fan of him being on WWE television, of course. For the past few months, WWE Hall of Famer JBL has accompanied Baron Corbin to the ring for his matches, touting the former United States champion as the modern-day wrestling god. However, JBL's opinion on Corbin drastically changed following his pinfall loss to Dexter Lumis on the February 6th edition of Monday Night Raw, as he told Corbin backstage after the match that he was done with him. PW Insider has since reported that moving forward, JBL is not currently scheduled to be appearing on Raw or WWE television at all moving forward. Prior to his partnership, JBL had not been on WWE TV regularly for a few years, as the last time he was consistently on TV was as a commentary member for the SmackDown brand. Following his run on commentary, JBL has also worked on kickoff panels that air prior to WWE Premium Live events, with other talent such as Booker T and Kayla Braxton regularly appearing on them as well. The former WWE champion has not wrestled, of course, for WWE since his quick appearance in the 2012 Royal Rumble match, with his last singles match coming at WrestleMania 25 against Rey Mysterio, in which he lost the Intercontinental Championship very quickly, and then he quit, quietly retiring. While he will reportedly be separated from JBL now, Corbin has gone through a plethora of gimmick changes during his time with WWE. Corbin has gone through the Lone Wolf character, Constable Corbin, King Corbin, Bum-Ass Baron Corbin, Happy Corbin, and currently just Baron Corbin. Prior to JBL deciding to drop Corbin, he had lost 11 straight matches on TV and premium live events, including losses to Kevin Owens and an Elimination Chamber qualifying match to Johnny Gargano, with his most recent victory coming in November 2022 over Akira Tozawa. As to what the plans are for Corbin moving forward, we don't know just yet, but this could be part of a wider and bigger storyline for Baron Corbin, particularly under the new regime of Triple H. We saw a similar situation where Austin Theory lost a load of matches, he had a failed Money in the Bank cash-in. He's now the US champion and working with John Cena, most likely at WrestleMania. So what this means for Corbin, we'll have to wait and see. This is an interesting story, but also a quite vague one from Dave Meltzer, so take it with a pinch of salt about this big. A main roster WWE star asked to work for a popular US independent wrestling company before the appearance of AEW stars. Of course, Chris Jericho and the entire Jericho Appreciation Society made a surprise appearance at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's Battle of Los Angeles show in January of this year. The group accompanied PWG World Champion Daniel Garcia, taking on the team of Evil Uno, Jonathan Gresham, Kevin Blackwood, Michael Oku, and SB Kento. The encounter was enough for Jericho to tell Oku that the British star would be on an AEW show when AEW comes to the United Kingdom. Whilst the appearance of the All Elite Wrestling stars in PWG have made history for the company, Dave Meltzer has revealed that a WWE star had been interested in working the show. Writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, he reports, quote, "We also know that a main roster top star asked to work PWG, and this was before Chris Jericho and the company appeared there, but nothing came of that." Unfortunately, aside from the main roster top star, Meltzer doesn't hint as to who the person may have been or what capacity their appearance would have been. Now, there are several stars in WWE that have close associations with PWG, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Most likely the names like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are probably names you would think about. There are others, but they're the two that you'd probably most closely associate with them. Was it them? We don't know. This could be Meltzer just being very, very vague. When a story's very vague like this, you have to take it for what it is. Don't read too much into it. And again, clearly it didn't go anywhere. Some positive news when it comes to WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler following what's been a really rough week for the King. Of course, the Hall of Famer suffered a stroke while staying at his Florida condo on Monday. As he fell ill, Lawler was rushed to hospital to undergo emergency surgery. Following the procedure, Lawler's movement and speech remained limited, but with some rehabilitation, he is expected to make a full recovery. In the latest update, Lawler has now been moved out of the ICU to begin the discharge process that was on Friday, as confirmed by his longtime partner Lauren McBride via a post on Lawler's Twitter account. Quote, "Jerry is out of the ICU and will return to his Florida home for outpatient rehab for his limited speech and cognitive skills. Doctors hopeful for a full recovery, and Jerry is looking forward to returning to his fans very soon. Lauren, #long live the King," the tweet read. Amidst his health scare, Lawler found himself in the comfort and thoughts of many of his family and friends, including the Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart, who visited Lawler in his hospital room. Former WWE broadcast partner Jim Ross also spoke with Lawler and took to social media to share that Lawler's prognosis seemed positive. Fellow WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley recently discussed Lawler's contributions to the professional wrestling industry and, of course, his hope that his former colleague would make a full comeback. Noting Lawler as one of the premier bump guys, Foley applauded the multi-time champion's work as a top guy for decades. Quote, "By the time the world got to know Jerry, he had a lot of wear and tear on his body," he said on his Foley is Pod episode, Foley is Pod podcast. But again, really positive news when it comes to Jerry Lawler. He is expected to make a full recovery. Long road ahead, certainly, when it comes to the nature of a recovery from a serious incident like this, but it could have been so much worse, and really positive news for the King. And I'm sure all of you in the comment section below will continue to send your positive thoughts, well wishes to Lawler, his friends, and his family as he has this long road of recovery. Finally, Gunther hits a major milestone as WWE Intercontinental Champion. Over the last few years, one of the big stories in WWE has been the numerous record-setting title reigns. Of course, Roman Reigns' run as WWE Universal Champion, which has since morphed into him becoming the undisputed Universal Champion. It's the longest world title reign of WWE's modern era. The Usos' run as SmackDown Tag Team Champions is the longest tag title reign in WWE history. And today, another title record was broken. On Instagram, WWE announced that WWE Intercontinental Champion Gunther has set a new record commemorating the moment with a video countdown and a short message. Quote, "Gunther now holds the record for the longest Intercontinental title reign of the 21st century," the post read. Indeed, Gunther has now held the WWE Intercontinental title for a whopping 245-day reigns. I'll start again. For a whopping 245 days, topping Shelton Benjamin. He previously held the record for the longest IC title reign of the 21st century. His 244-day reign ran from October 2004 until May 2005. They are followed by the likes of Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Shinsuke Nakamura as the only other WWE stars to have held the title for over 200 days since 2000, with Rhodes, Orton, and Nakamura having reigns of 233, 209, and 201 days, respectively. Can't even talk today. In addition to the number of days he's held the title, Gunther has also proved to be a fighting champion, having successfully defended defended the Intercontinental title 7 times. His most recent successful title defense was against Braun Strowman, defeating him on the January 13 episode of SmackDown. That hasn't been confirmed yet. Recent reports suggested that Gunther will defend his title in a 3-way match, a triple threat match against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Again, that's not confirmed, and in my opinion, I think he'll become the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in WWE history, breaking that infamous, famous, whatever you want to call it, reign from the Honky Tonk Man. But there you go, guys. It's the latest WWE news for you today. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Let me know your thoughts on today's WWE news stories in the comment section below. Remember, you can join the WN365 roster by clicking that join button. Once again, you get free access, well, exclusive access, rather, to the exclusive members-only content, such as live streams, shows, watch-alongs, historical match watch-alongs, interviews, debate shows. You also get emojis, you get loyalty badges as well, and you get priority chat. So plenty of perks if you do indeed join the members club. So there you go. Be sure to smash a like on the like button, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.